More politics, and over in Osun State, the governorship elections are barely 10 days away, and the preferred candidate of the African Democratic Congress, Fatai Akinbade, has promised to take advantage of the state's resources to provide employment for the youths. Mr. Akinbade made this promise at the party's campaign rally held in the state.
September 22nd, the date for the Osun State governorship election, is less than 10 days away, and political parties continue to rally support for their candidates. At the Enua Palace Square in Ile-Ife, loyalists of the African Democratic Congress troop out in their numbers to show their allegiance to the party's flag bearer, Fatai Akinbade, and his running mate, Olamide Oluyede. The party is confident their candidates will make them proud.
Accept that we are not voting for a party. We are voting for a good person. We are voting for someone we can trust. This is the person I can guarantee.
I want you to understand that when you are about to vote, you will be asked not to take any mark of your party near the polling booth. But our party's mark cannot be dropped. So when you get there, just greet each other the usual way we do.
Here are some of Akinbade's campaign goals, which he promises to achieve if given the chance.
We'll use mechanized farming to provide jobs for the youths and provide food for you. We'll also reopen the free trading zone in Osogbo.
As D-Day draws closer, the party is hopeful there will be positive outcome at the end of the polls.
The Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has welcomed new decampees from the All Progressives Congress into the People's Democratic Party in the state. While receiving the defectors, Governor Okowa says the PDP will have a smooth sail to victory in the 2019 elections. The decampees were received at the mega political rally in Ueli, Delta State.
It's the PDP mega rally in Delta State, South Nigeria, and the venue is the Ueli Township Stadium. Leaders of the PDP and their supporters are here to show solidarity with Governor Okowa and endorse him for a second term. The state chairman of the party explains the need to continue with the principle of rotation of the governorship seat in the state. He also receives representatives of a group of defectors from other political parties and hands them the flag of the People's Democratic Party as a symbol of acceptance into the PDP.
You see, PDP has been a structure from 1999, and it's been the only party that has not changed. So we are very glad to be here to welcome those people back to the party, and also it just also goes to show with the crowd and the personalities here today, it goes to show the love we have for our governor.
While commending the decampees, Governor Okowa is confident that the party will get a smooth sail to victory at the polls.
The message is very clear. The PDP is waxing stronger, and here you can see a lot of people decamping from the APC, and many more are going to decamp. PDP is one family, and will continue to control their state, and we're working hard to ensure that PDP takes entire control of every ward and every unit in Delta State.
It's just a few months to the 2019 general elections, and the PDP in Delta State is putting in place measures to ensure that it retains the biggest political position in the state.
From politics to the courts, and the trial of suspected kidnap kingpin Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, has again been stalled at the High Court sitting in Lagos due to the absence of the prosecution witness in court. The prosecution counsel Adebayo Harun told the court that the witness, who is a police inspector, was engaged elsewhere for an official assignment. The trial judge has adjourned the hearing to tomorrow, September the 14th. Evans is facing 2 separate charges bordering on conspiracy, kidnapping and attempted murder before Justice Adedayo Akintoye. He's being tried alongside Joseph Emeka, Linus Okpara and Victor Aduba for offences allegedly committed on September the 7th, 2015. Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Linda Akigbe. Linda?
Hello, Ijoma. Now, staying with the judiciary, the Federal High Court in Abuja has asked the Department of State Services to pay a 10.5 million naira compensation to journalist Jones Abiri for his illegal detention for 2 years. Justice Nnamdi Dimba says the DSS has not denied the fact that it arrested and detained the journalist illegally since July the 21st, 2016, denying him access to his doctors and family. The judge also explained that the DSS acted outside the provision of the law regarding the Terrorism Prevention Act, and that when James Abiri was eventually charged to court earlier this year, he was not charged with the crimes for which he was arrested. Abiri has sued the DSS for his illegal detention since July 2016 and demanded that the court order the DSS to pay him the sum of 200 million naira in damages.
Well, we are very much satisfied with the judgment. This morning, the court heard in our case and then obtained the submissions of the defendants that their detention of Jones Abiri for 2 years was legal and justified. The court this morning has set that aside and has declared that his detention is a breach of his fundamental human right, that Jones Abiri should have been charged to court after obtaining his statement sometimes in 2016. He should have been charged to court at that particular point in time. But today the court has upheld that his detention was illegal and unjustified. It is in the discretion of the court to grant award of damages, and the court felt that 10 million was enough award of damages for Jones Abiri, and we are satisfied with that. The most important thing is that the court has affirmed that his detention for 2 years is illegal and a breach of his fundamental human right. We have the second leg of the case, which is coming up on the 17th at the magistrate court, the one of the criminal trial. And we believe that with this judgment, the DSS will rethink and then withdraw that case. But if they don't withdraw it, we are ready to face them in court again and we'll get justice again in that court.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Mr. Yusuf Magaji Bichi as the new Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS. A statement by presidential spokesman Garba Shehu says the appointment of Mr. Bichi, a core Secret Service operative, takes effect from Friday, September 14th. Mr. Bichi has undergone training in intelligence processing analysis, agent handling, recruitment and intelligence processing in the UK, as well as strategic training at the National Defence College. In the course of his career, Mr. Bichi has worked as a State Director of Security in Jigawa, Niger, Sokoto and Abia states. Over 9.2 million children from 26 states have benefited from the federal government school feeding program. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo disclosed this at a conference tagged Harnessing Demographic Dividend for Sustainable Development in Nigeria, the Role of Religious Leaders, and was organized by the United Nations Population Fund in Abuja. He said that 500,000 graduates have so far been recruited under the federal government's N10.5m program. Our State House correspondent Gloria Mwenzoke reports.
Like most African countries, more than half of Nigeria's estimated population is within the working age group, according to the United Nations Population Fund. If properly harnessed, experts at this forum believe that this demographic shift is capable of transforming Nigeria's economy.
Demographic dividend doesn't come automatically. It must be deliberately harnessed through sustained strategic, multi-sectorial policies and investments coordinated at the highest level of administration.
Religious and traditional rulers who are having more influence in community mobilization are expected to engage young people for national development.
The question before all of us here today is how can religious leaders set up their role in making sure that Nigeria's population becomes and remains an asset and not a burden? How can the grassroots be mobilized to ensure responsible parenthood and effective grooming of an educated, skilled, and innovative, resourceful youth population for Nigeria's development?
Nigerian government, through the Federal Ministry of Health, and in partnership with UNFPA and numerous other partners, is calling on all religious leaders to help in making the changes that will translate into positive contributions to Nigeria's economic development through investment in youths and young people that will fast-track our harnessing the demographic dividend.
Meanwhile, the government is making efforts to engage more Nigerians under its social intervention programs.
Where, in answer to malnutrition and stunting, feeding over 9.2 million children in public primary schools daily in now 25 and this month to 26 states. We have now employed directly under our N-Power program 500,000 graduates, and we're giving microcredit to over 2 million petty traders in every state of Nigeria.
As government pledges to take advantage of the population potentials, a call to action document will be developed here to ensure that Nigeria delivers on her human capital development strategies. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Ahead of the September 14th sit-at-home order issued by the Indigenous People of Biafra group IPOB to all states in the southeast, police commands across the region have asked the residents to disregard such directives and go about their lawful businesses. The commissioners of police in Imo, Enugu and Abia states insist that IPOB does not have any authority to issue such a directive and have warned the group not to disrupt the peace and tranquility enjoyed in their states.
It's the eve of the sit-at-home order by the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra to Igbos in the southeastern part of the country. But it's one development security agencies in the region are not prepared to take lying down. At this joint meeting of the security operatives in Owerri, the Imo state capital, there seems to be a resounding resolve against any act capable of undermining the security of the state.
There are several and various ways of addressing grievances. And where your right stops, that is where another person's right begins.
Anybody who has genuine business to transact should come out without fear of molestation, harassment, or intimidation. That we, as one family, we are talking, are going to provide safety and security for him. So everybody should come out and ignore their empty threats.
It's a similar refrain in Enugu, where the Commissioner of Police in the state is specific about the new line of action.
For the IPOB people who are calling on people to stay at home, they should clear away from Enugu. Enugu is very peaceful, and any attempt by any group of people to truncate the peace we are enjoying in Enugu will be resisted with maximum force.
His counterpart in Abia, the home state of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is, however, adopting a different approach.
I'm calling, and let me use the word appealing to all. So you have fathers, you have mothers. These youths have father or mother. They should be able to call their children to order.
Last year, the group ordered a similar directive adjudged to have been successful in most parts of the region. However, the level of compliance to the new directive will be determined on Friday, September the 14th, 2018.